All right, perfect. Very nice to meet you, and thank you so much for coming. Actually, not really meeting you. I'm really excited to show you how this PowerPoint has evolved from the last time that I've seen you. For those who don't know me, my name is Lou, and I'm the founder of SmileWide. And I am a dentist by trade. I've been a dentist since 2019, and ever since my graduation, I've been working closely with the military and also with local clinics here in Ottawa. And the reason why I created SmileWide was because at the end of my studies, we were asked to do little rotations in hospitals and different clinics. So I ended up in a low income clinic where they would provide emergency care for people who would have a really bad sore tooth. They would come in and they would take those teeth out. And a lot of time, like they would lose a few teeth. And then afterwards, they were like, oh, well, okay, well, I'm missing these teeth. So what do I do? And unfortunately, the dentures weren't covered by those programs. And so they were kind of then stuck with the trauma of having lost these teeth and no way to replace them. And that's kind of like where it all stems from. So before I start, I like to start it with a little bit of humor. I'll show you a picture. And if you could tell me what is wrong with this picture by looking at it. There you go. So everybody probably saw that this guy is missing a tooth, but did you guys also notice that he's also missing an eyebrow? So this is kind of goes to show you how important a smile is, and that's why we're here. It's the first thing that a person will see. It is integral to a person's well-being and social being. Sorry, mental and social well-being. So I had one of my very first patient that was like, I cannot go to a job interview. I can't go on a date because I'm missing my two front tooth. So that's kind of where and why we're here. Before we get into the gist of it, I'd like to start with explaining what is a denture. So basically, a denture is a custom appliance that replaces missing teeth and allows us to reestablish function and aesthetics. But just like a prosthetic leg, actually, it is never going to be exactly what that person had before. So it's something that we really do explain to our patient. And also, it comes with downsides. Like, for example, some dentures that are made even by professional flop around. That's not supposed to be. A denture is not supposed to be mobile. You're supposed to be able to eat with it. And one of the dark horses in denture is a lower full denture where you don't have any teeth anymore and there's no anchorage, so it kind of flops around. And we have, I'll get into it a little bit later, but we do have something that overcomes that, which is absolutely great. So in the world of denture, there's two types of denture. There's a full denture when you've lost all your teeth, and there's also a partial denture for if you're only missing a few teeth. And I've put this picture there because I wanted you guys to see the hooks. So there are metal components in a typical denture. They're often non-aesthetic. A person will smile and you'll see those hook in that person's gum line. So the problem. So obviously, dental care is very expensive, whether you're in Canada or in the US. People are avoiding to going to the dentist too because it is first of all, we have a lot of dentists, but the denture care, the care is very expensive, and it is also increasing year to year. There's around a 10% increase in cost of dental care, and dentures can be one of the most expensive treatment that you could get. They cost on average $1,200 to $2,000. So if you're stuck with missing teeth on the top and on the bottom, you're doubling that cost. So you're almost paying $4,000 for a set of denture. And denture need also to be changed ideally every 5 years, but some people keep them for 10, 20 years. And that's where they kind of flop around and they're no longer a great fit. And that can damage the adjacent supporting structures like the teeth or the gums. So and the impact, obviously, is that low income earners and Canadians without dental insurance lack affordable alternative for dentures. In terms of statistics, it's nice to kind of look at the market and understand where we are. 1 in 3 Canadians do not have dental insurance. And amongst these people without dental insurance, half of what we consider to be seniors have no dental insurance. So this is kind of the most vulnerable group in our society, and it is part of the main chunk of our target market too. And also, people will lose 1 to 3 teeth. Sorry, 23% will lose 1 to 3 teeth in a 3-year period. And also 6% of the Canadian population have no teeth. So they either have no teeth and have no dentures, or they have no teeth and they have dentures, but those dentures need to be replaced too. So our solution is an affordable pop-up denture clinic combining in-person service and teledentistry. So we're not really looking to change the game. We're kind of finding another way to deliver the burger when it comes to denture care. Our value is obviously personalized care, time saving, cost saving, and quality dentures and services. Our business model, so we rely on in-person and virtual care. There's a portion that we cannot do remotely. And so basically what we do is that we start with a teledentistry process, and then we meet the patient and we do the delivery face to face. So I'll get into it a little bit later, but what it helps to do is to reduce the number of visits. We use pop-up clinics, mobile pop-up clinics, to go and deliver that care to the people. And it really does not take a lot to have a functioning dental clinic, at least a denture clinic. I need my intraoral scanner, my laptop, and a little bit of instruments that fits in the 3-tier toolbox, and a chair. That's all I need to have a functioning, working pop-up denture clinic. And also what we've done recently is that we went to the EY Center. We were participating at the 55 Plus Lifestyle Show. And one of the things that people really loved to hear was that you're not paying for that dentist's office. So not only are they able to benefit from a lower pricing, there's no set of overhead costs that will be inevitably encumbered to them in the cost of the dentures themselves. So we're able to access a large population, and at the same time as beneficiating from low overheads. We use a fully digital process. So we print our dentures, we mill our dentures. That process is 3D, and which is different from traditional denture clinic, where it's a lot of analog. So they're still doing stuff with wax and taking impressions. You have generally a 6-appointment process where people have to come to the clinic, and that makes a big difference when we're a pop-up and we can move to different places, especially to retirement homes where limited mobility is limited. So, and the fourth pillar of our business model is the social endeavor. We are very present in the community because we do a lot of luncheons with retirement residences. We also get involved with different NGOs, and we're currently also working with the Ottawa Mission and to improve our process, the quality of our product, and to better make our process more efficient too. So in order to reduce our overhead and to give a quality controlled product, we only offer 2 types of dentures. There are a lot of dentures on the market, but we only offer 2. So for the for the partial denture, so people who still have a few teeth but are missing a few, we have a flexible partial denture. And that's really an innovation because it has nothing that's metal. There's nothing there that's non-aesthetic. It's comfortable, it snaps in, it's an absolutely beautiful fit. It's also lighter because there's no more the metal framework. So for the full denture, we have a 3D printed full denture too. And on that one, we are more comfortable, more aesthetic, and there is a way for us to really fine tune the length of the teeth, the color of the teeth. I had one patient that was like, oh, I'd like you to make my little canines a little bit longer. So we were able definitely to do that. And without adding an extra appointment or to add any of those non-billable hours that are not profitable to a denture clinic. Because what happens with dentists is that they like to give that work because it's fairly a low billable treatment. So what they do is that they like to give it to a denturist, which is what we're going to explore a little bit later. So just quickly, our process is that we start with a virtual consultation. We make sure that that person fits our needs because it's not something for everybody. And so the second part of it is an in-person impression. So we obtain the data digitally. We scan the bite, we scan the teeth, and so that gives us a precision and the ability. So our ability to make a denture that is fit, that has a great fit, relies on having great data to begin with. And after that, we create the denture ourselves through that milling, printing process, and we have another in-person delivery and adjustment. So 90% of the adjustment is already done with us with that person. And with dentures, one of the biggest challenge is the after the adjustment after the delivery. So gums change, teeth change a little bit after that prosthesis is given. And so for that, we have a adjustment kit. So every patient is given an adjustment kit, and they're actually able to adjust very lightly their denture to be able to just not having to go to the dentist and getting that done by me. So, and you'd be surprised by how much dexterity a 78-year-old patient can have, because I've had patients that are like, yeah, I just took the Dremel and kind of went over with it and it was great. So most of the aftercare is basically done with that in-person visit. So afterwards, it's really just, hey, are you okay? We make sure that there is a virtual care follow-up and that they're happy with the product that they're obtaining. So market overview, it's a $2.8 billion market, and it is driven by the need for higher care, higher quality of care, the technological advances, including 3D printing, which has come and really changed the world that we're playing with. So there is also a rising incidence of tooth decay amongst young people that are driving this market. So our total addressable market is $4 or $5 billion. Our market advantage is low pricing and also low overheads. The local market, our biggest competitors are denturists and dentists. So customer can save up to 60 to 70% when they go with us. I also put in online denture there. It might not be relevant, but it's important to know that a person can also go online and buy denture online. And it's also a possibility, but when it comes to the price point, I think that it is something that we're a little bit more advantageous, but it's definitely something not to forget. So dentist, obviously one-stop shop for all dental treatments. It can be very expensive, whereas denturists are our main competitor. They are only doing dentures, and that's the only thing that they do, but they also have brick and mortars, and it's still very expensive. So we're talking about maybe $2,000 for a dentist and then $1,200 for a denturist. So it's still in that ballpark of pricing. Whereas online denture, it's kind of like not in-person process. You take some impressions, you send it to them. Do you have any control on the fit and the quality of the project? Not really, but it's a good way to, for people who have no interest whatsoever, they're kind of left at that. So currently our pricing strategy is a little bit low. It is a market penetrating pricing, and we're also testing our dentures on a lot of our first customers. A partial denture goes for $480 and a full denture goes for $620. When it comes to cost of goods, our partial denture cost $219. We are definitely bringing that pricing down. I have a partner who has a CNC machine, so we're implementing that milling process, and we're able to probably bring down $100 on that cost of goods. And so full dentures, for the full denture, we manufacture them in-house. Everything is printed, everything is designed by us, so we control everything when it comes to quality. So we're looking at raising our prices effective of October 1st. So we'll be able to offer these the partial denture at $650 and full denture at $720. And it is important to note that we don't have any HSC or GST when it comes to dental care. So our 3-year projection this year, I'm still working full-time. My goal is to leave this full-time job and to be working part-time as a dentist, but also dedicate more time to SmileWide. So this is why you see that big increase in year 2, because we're looking at also creating another pop-up clinic. So basically, roughly a pop-up clinic can generate, just on the weekends, by seeing 6 patients over a year, around $140K of revenue. So we're thinking of multiplying these clinics and also putting them in population hubs. So by year 3, I'm a little bit of a pessimist. So I like realistic numbers. So this is what we have for year 3, a little bit below 700K. So my team, I am the sole proprietor, and I have 100% of the ownership. These are my 4 assistants. They're all volunteer right now. They're helping me because they believe in the idea, the process, and they believe in helping the community. So I would like to bring eventually 1 or 2 of them on board with me, 1 to start with, and then eventually all of them are open to be joining the team on the long run. And so the milestone is that we are basically done the researching and design part. We're really just running with our customers and seeing how we're doing. And one of the biggest thing for us was to go to the EY Center, and we got a lot of leads, a lot of interest. So we're kind of just catching up with that demand since September 15th. And that was when the event was. So we're looking at 150K from Sheboot, and we're looking to get another $20,000 from friends and family. And I want to put another 30 grand of my own money into the business. And right now it has been only bootstrap. So everything has been funded by me. And we're looking, this is how far we've gone. And with that additional additional investment, we're looking to bring in more printers and also bring down our production costs. So our goal is to make denture affordable and accessible without sacrificing quality and care. We strive to become Canada's leading denture care provider. Our dream is to partnering with a big company like Costco that has a location, and they have like this little room in the back where like they do a lot of their hearing aid stuff. So we're hoping to partner with a larger company to be able to offer our care. And so this is kind of like the dream there. So thank you so much for your attention.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lou. We're almost at 16 minutes, so we're going to continue to cut that down. That's okay. That's okay. Our investors will help narrow the focus, I'm sure, and you've got time. So I'll start with Maureen. I feel like you looked like you had the energy and you were ready to give feedback. So let's kick it off with you again.
I am. I think this is really cool, Lou. It's such an important thing for people's self-esteem, and like, how can you go around with a tooth missing? Or it's just really hard on people. So I love what you're doing. I think you described the problem very well. I feel like in your pitch, your problem description section could be a little bit shorter so that you can move on to some other things. I had a couple of questions. Another comment. I think using a limited number of denture models is, a really good thing to do in your type of business. When you say you want to become the leading denture provider in Canada, do you mean like being a larger denture provider than the higher end denture providers? And is that because they are more independent operations that maybe just have one clinic and you would have multiples, or what's behind that?
Yeah, we kind of want to be the Hotel Trivago of dentures, and so that at least that people consider us when they're purchasing their dentures. Maybe they won't go with us because they like to have that pampered process of having a dentist, taking them from A to Z, and that's okay. But as long as they're aware that this service exists and they're kind of like, hey, is it worth it for me to do this in a teledentistry and an in-person process? That's kind of what we're aiming for, because we're hoping to pop in every big city in Canada.
And having a partner like Costco or somebody where they could give you space and some promotion, that might be very valuable for you. What about there are other services that are required, right? You can't just stick a denture on someone who's got a lot of decay in their mouth. I assume you need to work with a dentist, get their teeth cleaned, fill any cavities before you can put a denture on top. Otherwise, you're just burying bacteria, right? And it'll grow worse.
Yes.
So
that's kind of, yeah.
How will that work?
We're operating the same way as denturists. So what we do is that we let them know, hey, listen, we're happy to take a look, because sometimes we do outreach programs and we go and we take a look and we're like, hey, you're going to need this tooth out. When you're ready to get it out and you're done and everything is healed, come back and see us. And that's kind of how we're operating.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I thought it was a good pitch.
Thank you.
Deb, would you like to go next?
Sure. This is really great. I appreciated your drive and your fascination, your interest in doing this. But I want to hone in on accessibility, because I think that's the real strength of what you're I mean, I don't know about the marketability necessarily, but that accessibility and the understanding that we have of illness being identified through dental care. And if you have people avoiding dental care for whatever reason, cost is the main driver, you're not accessing a certain population, which then is going to cost the government and everyone else a ton more. Do you have any view to, I don't know if it would be grants or government support that lends itself, because you are already reaching out to these organizations and spending time almost encamping yourself there, which I think is a wonderful move. And you're going to have data as a result of that. And you'll be able to put yourself then with the data against those other organizations that are selling. But are you able to link with the government so that they understand the benefit as well? Because it's a very different kind of provision, human-centered provision.
Mhm.
Yes, absolutely. So funny enough, the Liberal government wants to put a denture, well, not necessarily denture, but a dental program, and it's supposed to run as of 2025. So it's kind of like question mark, but technically what it would encompass is basic denture care. Now, how much would they cover? Nobody knows, but basically it makes us even more affordable, because if they cover a certain amount, even like 200, $300, then really our pricing is becomes much more lower and much more accessible. And right now, what people do when they don't have the means is that they'll go to a hospital clinic, get those teeth out, and then they're like, oh, we'll wait 4 to 6 months for the gums to heal, and then they'll come to us, basically.
Is the competitive advantage, I might have missed, are there proprietary components, patents? I know the process is different and the approach is different, and the products, the materials that you're using. Is there anything that's protecting you, patents, etc.? Or first mover advantage and partnerships?
Yeah, exactly. And it's also a cost to the investment initial cost, because I have intraoral scanner, the digital technology, the printers themselves, they have cost like north of 50 to 60 grand. So there is that barrier too. And the other thing is that the knowledge behind making dentures is becoming very limited to denturists. Dentists don't want to touch it because they find it to be like, because 6 appointment and you can't bill those 6 appointment, you're just at a final cost of like, let's say I'm going to bill you $4,000 for the dentures. But if the patient requires 8 adjustments, then they're not really billing those hours. So they kind of want to throw that towards the denturist, and the denturist is not that it's not a dying profession, but it's not one of those professions that is expanding and gaining a lot of fervor.
It is, dentists are overwhelmed and their clinics are overwhelmed, and the people, and they have high turnover. So I can see this as being an adjunct sort of service, and they welcome as long as it's experienced. So I think it's wonderful. That was it for me for the moment. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Deb. Jennifer?
Yeah, that was a great pitch, Lou. I had a couple of things, and we talked last week as well. Just from a pricing perspective, so you talked about the 32% that have no dental insurance. That's 53% of seniors that don't have dental insurance. I'm assuming a portion of those couldn't even afford, a $500 or $700 denture. So do you have narrower market data on, the number of people that you could go after with this price point? So you're coming in at about a third of the price of a traditional denture. So how much market does that give you access to of that uninsured or not fully insured market? Because presumably it's not 100%, because some of them have no money.
I might actually need a little bit of help on giving you that answer, because a lot of the data that's research, like Statistics Canada, I'm diving in there, and they're like easily 20, 30 years old. Not a lot of data has been done on oral health. And also I can just really see out of experience that when we were at the show, we were easily the most busy booth. It's not, an acceptable answer, but what I can also say is Ontario Works with ODSP has a coverage for dentures. Everything is covered if you're making less than $22,000 per year. So they just need a little letter from me saying like, this person does need a denture and this is the exam. So
Okay, so
Don't
it's
know.
probably worth adding that into your presentation, because my immediate reaction on your target market is even at 500, many of them can't afford it.
Yeah.
So if ODSP does cover, I think that would be helpful to your market. In terms of your business plan and your scale, we talked a little bit last week about, thinking through your model for how you're going to scale. I think, it would be good to think about, like, if you wanted to be a $5 million company in 3 years,
Okay.
what would that look like? What would you need to do to be that? And, in terms of being the leading denture provider, your 3D printing, are those dentures as good as the traditional molded ones? And could
Yes
you
and
replace the $2,000 denture market with yours?
Yes and no. We are, even when it comes to acrylic dentures, there are top tier ones. I could, because right now it's just such a new technology. I am currently changing resin. I'm with one type of resin, and so I am still doing a lot of research and testing and seeing like, hey, is this one better? We've been smashing a bunch of dentures recently just to see on hardness and
Yeah.
wear. And we've also been smashing traditional dentures just to see how they do. And usually they'll break because of dropping, and they shatter, and there's nothing to do when it comes to that. But the hardness of it is pretty good. We have research from PubMed and different places. What comes on the market right now is that they are nano ceramic filled, so they are more resistant to wear, and it's usually, if you're not dropping them, you're wearing the teeth, and I can say confidently that the wear is pretty much the same. Yeah.
Okay, because I would think that insurance companies would prefer to spend, $700 on a denture instead of 2,000. So if your dentures can go after the broader market, you could probably find insurance partners
Yeah.
who were more interested in saving some money too. And that
Also
that would be the
awareness,
larger, yeah.
that awareness
Yeah.
and that getting through the market, that's a message people need to hear, and
Yeah.
it's going to take a while, but it's worthwhile.
Yeah.
On that wonderful note, I do need to close this session because we have another pitch practice right at 1. Thank you so much, Lou. It's awesome to see how your deck and your pitch evolves week over week. It's really incredible. So I can't wait till next week already. I'll get you the feedback as soon as possible. And just everyone else can log off. But Deb, I did want to ask if you did want to participate at 1, I'd be happy to invite you to that session too. We didn't invite you because it was 3 hours back to back, and I thought that was a lot of your time. So I appreciate it. But if you are down to join us, I'd love for you to join my next session if you're interested.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay,
and I
I'm
will
going to
send
add
out-
you now. Okay,
Okay,
thank
Thank
you
you
all
so
so
much.
much.
Katie, did you have me signed up for one?
And I just need to hop to my, yes, we do. And you have to log out of here and you got to log into a new Zoom. So
Okay.
you're signed up with one, not with me, with Jane.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you both so much.